Howdy y'all, welcome to Adventures with Kendall. Today's adventure will take us to Perris, California to look at the Southern California Railway Museum. It's going to be a fun day looking at trains and trolleys because this is one of the finest railroad museums on the West Coast. So let's get going and head to the Southern California Railway Museum in Perris, California. All aboard! I'm here at the Southern California Railway Museum to check out their collection of Pacific Electric red cars. Let's go see them. The Southern California Railway Museum is a large museum complex dedicated to the history of Western railroading. It is located near the community of Perris, California. This complex is a unique place where you can experience the two types of rail transportation that were common throughout the state of California. The story begins during the early 50s when the streetcar systems throughout Los Angeles were being phased out and replaced with bus lines. With the majority of the streetcars in Los Angeles being scrapped at the time, a group of enthusiasts known as the Electric Railway Historical Association of Southern California formed an equipment committee set out to preserve some of the Los Angeles trolleys for future generations. This group formed the Orange Empire Traction Company and step up their preservation efforts even further. Many of them were still teenagers when the organization was founded. The Orange Empire Traction Company's first home was at Travel Town, an already established display of retired railway equipment in Los Angeles Griffith Park. By 1958, the group had changed their name to the Orange Empire Trolley Museum and had brought 10 pieces of equipment to Travel Town. But the group was informed that the new Ventura Freeway would cut directly through Griffith Park, isolating the site from access to major roadways. In 1959, the Orange Empire Trolley Museum found a new home on an abandoned railroad right-of-way just outside the rural community of Perris, California, some 70 miles southeast of Los Angeles. The little trolley farm in Perris would grow with the ending of streetcar service in Los Angeles in 1963. Museum volunteers traveled to sites throughout the region, salvaging abandoned railway infrastructure that could be reused for the museum. And this included mainline railroad equipment. In 1975, a major extension of the standard gauge mainline trackage permitted a better demonstration of the growing collection of mainline railroad equipment. This culminated with the commencement of regular steam locomotive operations beginning in 1978. Over the years, the complex would expand with newer buildings, trackage, and even a working substation to operate the trolleys with. It has grown to become the 100-acre complex that we see today. Not only do they preserve the history of the light rail systems throughout the state of California, but also the history of heavy rail operations. Whether it's the romantic steaming days with mighty steam locomotives, or the big freight trains that used to go through the Central Valley of California. Our first part of our journey is the car barn for the Los Angeles Railway Collection. Inside this car barn is a fascinating collection of the Los Angeles Railway. They also have the largest collection of Pacific Electric red cars here in the Walter Abesseth Car Barn. Both the Los Angeles Railway and the Pacific Electric was founded and operated by Henry Huntington. We'll talk more about Mr. Huntington and his impact in the LA area in a future episode. Next up on our tour is the Grizzly Flats Railroad Barn. Inside the barn, we'll learn the fascinating history of narrow gauge railroading in the western United States, all through the collection of the late Disney animator Ward Kimball. Check out a future episode about Ward Kimball to learn more about the Grizzly Flats Railroad. They also have train rides here, like the one we're about to go on. Now this is a fun treat. We were given the chance to ride the cab of this mighty diesel locomotive, and we're now getting ready to head down the SCRM main line. All aboard! You could buy tickets for this cab ride experience at the depot, but it's at a limited capacity of only 2 people plus the engineer in the cab of this mighty locomotive. As we travel down the main line, we'll pass the Cottonwood Depot. This depot acts as a transfer station for both the standard gauge and narrow gauge railroads. Pretty neat, huh? After a splendid ride like that, we got back to the main station and I got to sit in the engineer's seat to check out the many controls. It's amazing that a guy has to control all of these to operate this mighty machine. I had a fun time checking out the many exhibits here at this wonderful museum. But now, let's head back to the studio. All aboard! I had a blast at the Southern California Rail Museum. Did you? It was amazing to learn the story of this unique location and also to have a fun time looking at all the locomotives and cars there, especially of the trolleys of the Los Angeles Railway and Pacific Electric. And the cab ride on Santa Fe 108 gave me the biggest grin that I cannot recreate here. Believe me, it is too huge to even replicate. And speaking of adventures, I hope you had a fun time on Season 8 of Adventures with Kendall. It was amazing to go on so many adventures this season, and I can't wait to take you on more in Season 9. But until then, if you have a location for us to go on, comment or email down below. We would love to see suggestions, and also subscribe and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We would love to see your faces. Now that's all of the time we have here on Adventures with Kendall. See you later, folks, and may your gifts bless the world.